Okay, let's see this.
Dave's field communications are all
So
over
one
the place.
progressive
Connecting
versus
team
20
management outlets,
far-right
all in
conservatives.
one
What
place.
is a
Well,
far-right
Dave, my
conservative too? I'm
family went in.
curious. There's a people don't know. All right, let's check it.
My family lineage is settlers from the 1500s.
Colonialists.
Yeah, colonials.
You don't look
yeah.
very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are
Sorry,
you talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
So his argument is that whites are Native American. Um, his arguments is not can't be Native, but there is so. All right, let's see it.
You're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
I'm Mehdi Hassan. I'm a journalist. I'm the editor of Zeteo. And today I'm surrounded by 20 far-right conservatives.
Let's see what these conservatives are like.
My first claim is Donald Trump is pro-crime and pro-criminal.
Okay. How is he pro-crime and pro-criminal? Okay. Short, nerdy kid.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to...
Hearing, Gen Z, so younger kid. Younger kid's got a... They haven't formulated their arguments yet properly. But let's see what he's got to say.
Meet you. I'm Mehdi.
I would just like to ask, what makes someone pro-crime versus, anti-crime?
Okay. That's a far-right conservative? Pro-crime versus...
I think when you're soft on criminals, when you let criminals out of prison, when you pardon people who've assaulted police officers, you're pro...
So his argument is for... This is particularly in January 6th. He's obviously, because of the January 6th protesters, because he believed that people that stormed the Capitol were violent, which a majority of them were not, and the 4,000, or I think it was like 1,600 that ended up being in prison for the January 6th related crimes were in prison for 4 years. So how long do you think a sentence for a civil disobedience should be?
Criminal. Donald Trump pardoned almost 1,600 people who were involved in January the 6th. I think 600 of them had been charged with assaulting a police officer or obstructing a police officer.
Obstructing an assault. This was a protest, and this is the only protest that they massively enforced and massively jailed protesters. And there's been a few instances in like Portland it's happened, but this is just on a mass scale. This is the first time they've had people in jail for 4 years for political protest, essentially.
170 had pled guilty to assaulting a police officer. 70 had pled guilty to assault with a deadly weapon. J.D. Vance said, we're not going to pardon the violent criminals from January 6th. Donald Trump pardoned all of them. Are you okay with that?
I would say January 6th is
I feel like that's a weak argument. I feel like if you want to use that argument, you can literally argue the immigration policies, the majority Democratic cities that don't are not harsh on crime. For example, they do forgiveness, or they don't fully commit to enforcing laws such as like merchandise theft. They let those people off without any criminal punishments, and they end up doing it repeatedly over and over again, because if you can get away with something once with no repercussions, and it benefits you, why wouldn't you do it again? That's just that's the human condition, isn't it? So I feel like I don't know what the kid's argument's gonna be, but let's see what he's got.
a very special case. I would say it's almost a climax point in history. I would just phrase the question this way. Right now in the LA protests, if they were to, just for example, they were to rush the capital of LA, I mean, they'd have to move over all the homeless people living in tents on the steps of the Capitol. But if they were managed to get into the Capitol and they were just protesting, peacefully, let's say police officers were rushing them
Yeah.
in. They were letting them in and saying, hey,
Yeah.
you guys can go in. Like we have many testimonies that say.
What about
And,
the violent ones, though?
Okay.
What about the violent ones? What about the violent ones? Oh, there was very, very few that actually were violent. That's you wanted to imprison 1,600 people before.
Violent ones like
Like
what?
a man named David Dempsey, a judge, a Reagan-appointed judge, sentenced him to 20 years in prison. He stomped on police officers' heads. The judge said his conduct was exceptionally egregious. He attacked police officers with flagpoles and pepper spray. Donald Trump pardoned him. There's a man named
I want to see the video and I want to see what they're describing, because sometimes on paperwork things are a lot worse than what they actually are in real life. For example, like an officer could have tripped and the dude could have walked by and bumped him, and they would have said that's committing an assault on an officer, battery. It's something on paper could look a lot worse than what happened. I want to see videos and I want to see what this guy did before I make a judgment. But the thing is, they won't release that, and a lot of the evidence isn't there. So you kept him in prison for 4 years. How much longer do you think his sentence? Do you think it's a life sentence? Do you think government should be able to lock up your political protesters for over 10 years or until indefinitely? How does that make sense to you?
Daniel Rodriguez. He got 12 years in prison for taking a stun gun and tasing a police officer in the neck and giving him a heart attack. The judge said he was a one-man army of hate. Donald
I want to see the video of this.
Trump pardoned him. Does that not make Trump pro-criminal? He's letting violent criminals out of prison.
I would say no, it doesn't make him pro-criminal. One,
You're okay with that?
I did not say that. I said that one pardon against somebody.
It was 1,600 pardons.
Okay.
600 of those were
Yes,
people
one against
charged
one
with...
example that you just gave me.
I can give you more. Should I keep going?
Fine.
Shane
And I'll
Jenkins.
say the exact same thing every single
Then
time.
your argument will fall apart because it's
Okay,
not just
go
one
for
example
it,
if I
go
keep
for it.
going.
Go for it.
A lot of those people on January 6th in particular weren't even given the right, weren't even given trials and proper anything because of COVID. Everything was delayed. So his stance, I don't believe is an appropriate stance. I believe he's making a point of this is authority and that's authority should be implemented. While, I mean, the kid's just kind of making a basic argument.
Then.
Okay, Shane Jenkins got 7 years in prison for 9 criminal offenses, attacking police with a deadly weapon, destroying government property.
How do
Trump pardoned
pardons
him.
that probably shouldn't have happened turn into pro-crime?
So you've agreed that they shouldn't have been pardoned?
Sure, but that wasn't your claim. Was January 6th? Your claim was Trump is pro-crime.
Yeah, because he pardons criminals.
Okay,
He
I would say that that's a fault.
Let's talk about non-January 6 people.
Okay.
He's pardoned
That literally applies to every single president that's ever given a pardon. So if you're saying that as a against Trump thing, you should also apply it to against Biden, against Obama, against Bush. So does that mean you were a hypocrite because you overlook it for them?
people like
Or is that just not a point of contention that you typically bring up and you only bring up in a situation that arises beneficial to you?
Paul Walchuk recently, who took millions of dollars from his own employees, was sentenced to tax crimes, had to pay back $4 million. Trump pardoned him. He bought himself a $2 million yacht.
This is both sides of the aisle. This is, if you look at people that get pardoned for financial crimes, you will go down a rabbit hole you do not want to go down.
Why is he pardoning criminals like that?
Well, I don't know. I don't think you should. I don't think really presidential pardon should be a thing at all. But I
agree.
I don't think that.
All right, pause.
That means something.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Thanks.
There's a voting system to where they kick this guy out, to where he couldn't even make a counter argument because this guy just said, that's, I don't think these guys are very conservative.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Mehdi.
What is it?
Mehdi.
You're from northern UK, I guess?
I'm from London, North London.
Okay, fair enough.
From London.
What's your ethnic background, if you don't mind my asking?
My parents are from India.
Okay, perfect. Just
He's from London.
getting premise here. First of all, I want to
The
say
premise of Donald Trump being pro-crime.
No. I want to concern myself with why you care about what's happening in the U.S. first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say this: with the
Should
argument,
US should people who live in the U.S. not care about?
Let's not interrupt each other because I have this thing. Like people know, I have this thing. I have to stay calm. Okay, so
Okay.
here's the
This guy's an actor.
I am.
Imagine being able to
Also, look at
build
his pupils. His pupils kind of look weird, don't they?
for any reason, in any style.
Happy that he released J6. In fact, so much so that I was prepared to protest if he didn't.
No, it's just dark
so when you
eyes.
say, are you okay that he's pro-crime? Sure, because you know what? We're changing the definition of what crime is, first and
You
foremost.
don't think stomping on police officers' heads is a
I want to see the video of that.
crime?
I don't think it's no longer a relevant conversation anymore. You're
Really?
arguing. No, it's not, because you know what? Okay, have you seen the U.S. in the last 4 or 5 years?
Yes, I've
BLM
lived
protests.
there for a
Have you
while.
seen? Okay, I myself have been involved in these protests. I've seen egregious things that you can.
They're getting stuck on defending a really invalid point, and he's baiting them into debating whether it's okay to stomp on an officer's head. Other than the fact that that is one case of an assault. You said only 600 of them, or out of the 1,800 that were imprisoned, were violent. So that means the other 1,200 were in jail for political protest. He doesn't want that to be the focus of discussion, so he's being dishonest. While this guy, he's defending a position that's hard to defend, and they're getting dug into defending a dumb position.
Couldn't even imagine.
So we
being
have no
done
rules
to
then?
conservatives, it's not about that. It's
it
about
about?
tribal warfare.
Okay.
That's where we're at in the U.S. I don't know where you're at in the UK. You're from India, so I don't really.
I'm not from India.
Oh, you sorry. Your parents are from India,
Yeah.
so
I'm an
I-
American.
So I don't know if that's how cultures work. I don't think if someone, I think in order to consider yourself part of a culture, you have to become part of the culture and not be the counterculture, because then you're no longer um I don't think if you immigrate to a country and then expect the country or change the country into your own image that and then claim that you are it's unification. I guess that's the argument. uh I guess that is the argument that's used in a lot of minority communities, but you can also apply it to countries, and a lot of the replacement theories and everything like that. That's what discussion would go to, but I don't want to get into that stuff.
you
American
have
citizen.
your own stakes.
I'm an American, you know.
You're an American citizen? Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. I don't know how you
Yes.
got that, but fair enough.
So his parents immigrated to Iran, not Iran, to London. He was born in London, considered himself from London, even though he's an immigrant there. And then he moved to United States while being from London, while being from India. And he now considered himself an American without, with being what is presented as counterculture to what was previously a conservative nation.
Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But here's the
Not
thing.
sure how you got that. Okay.
Born here.
Okay.
Not sure how you got that. That's very he's making him combative. That's kind of that's his thing.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in the
Okay.
claim here, okay?
But you're
a little different
But you're
than
a
yours.
descendant of immigrants, settlers,
I didn't know.
colonialists.
That's applied to anybody in North America and the region. And people will say no, because the Native Americans were originally from Asia. They came across the land bridge in like 50,000 years ago when there was an ice age. Or I don't know the exact dates. It might have been a lot longer, but it came there through an ice gap between Russia and United States and migrated south. Now, there was the other portion that came in from the Spanish. They immigrated, and they probably populated with the people that came in from the thing. That's why a lot of South American people, they got features that are a little bit Asian and a little bit Hispanic, a little bit dark. That's how nature works. They divide it. So for him to say that he's an immigrant because he came on a ship from the colonies instead of the land bridge 50,000 years ago genetically, once again, he's dishonest.
Yeah,
You don't
colonials.
look
yeah.
very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are
Sorry,
you talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
You're not.
Whites are Native Americans.
Really?
At this point, if we were to consider the land of conquest and the fact that natives did lose conquest to United States, yes, there are native, because the land belongs to the United States.
I think
What was happening before the 1500s?
I think you're getting confused with it.
I don't mind going
I
on a
think
tangent.
That's a conservative. Hold up.
Yeah,
You don't
colonials.
look
yeah.
very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are you
Sorry,
talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
You're not.
Whites are Native Americans.
Really?
I want you to consider the name of this video is him debating conservatives, and conservatives
What was
is a
happening
very
before-
wide range of
you're
thought.
getting confused with
I don't mind going on a tangent, but what was happening before the 1500s?
Calm down. I think you're getting.
What was happening before the 1500s?
There was indigenous people here that
Yeah.
came here from
Do you know
Asia.
what indigenous means?
Listen, before
Indigenous
America,
people
Let-
can't
are you
come
gonna let
from
me
somewhere
finish?
else.
Why do you ask a question?
His indigenous definition is 50,000 years ago. His indigenous definition, it's the same people, same genetic. There's a reason why people in Asia and people in that are natives have similar DNA ties. There's a reason for it. His claim is that these guys are natives because they migrated over, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's conquest, migration. That is just how the world worked.
Question if you're going to interrupt.
I'm not sure if you know what the meaning of indigenous means.
I do know what it means. It
Doesn't
means
sound
they
like it.
came here
And his whole argument is try to make everybody else look stupid.
first, right? They came here from Asia by way of land bridge. Have an argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson or anybody else about that. I don't care.
Is he an
I
American?
genuinely don't care. Yes, he is.
Okay, just
so
checking.
My point is, okay?
Nothing to do with crime. So far, you've agreed with me that these people
Because
are
you're
criminals.
derailing, dude. I'm trying
You
to stay
literally
on track.
sat down and asked me where I'm from.
He is derailing, and his question was valid because you claim you're an American, but you're from London. You were born in London. Your parents were from India who migrated. So your claim that you're from London is you lived maybe part of your childhood and you may have not even adapted their culture. May be entirely dishonest.
I think you derailed this
you got
conversation from the
offended
get-go.
by that, but I'm because
I'm not
I'm always
offended. I'm
curious,
just wondering what it
because
has to do with
I'm
crime.
always curious.
We're going to talk about
why-
immigration. Don't worry. Later on, you can come back.
I hope so.
Right now, you're doing a very bad job of making the case that he's not pro-crime
I
and
just got a
pro-criminal.
round of applause. I could probably get another one actually if I asked for it.
Wow.
So I don't think I'm
is
doing
this how
as
you
bad.
get rounds of applause? You sit in a room with 20 people who agree with you. Wow, amazing. Amazing. That
well,
must
wait
make you
till
feel
this
good.
comes out. You know what? I'm
20
actually
people who
glad
agree
you're
with
getting
you
this
applauded you.
emotionally outraged right
Wow.
now. This is great.
I love it.
Do I have to say anything at this point, or are you just going
Please.
to keep?
Dude's arguments, like, they're rough. They're a little rough, for sure. But this reporter is very dishonest, and he's baiting him, and they're falling for the bait. I think that
Going?
No, please, make your claim.
Well, my claim is that I don't care if it's pro-crime. You want to go back to the topic of conversation?
That's fine. We agree then. He's pro-crime,
But
and you
I have
don't
a
care.
question for you though. Do you care on the opposite side of the spectrum?
Yes.
Do you care about law being administered
Yes.
to the opposite side of the
Yes,
spectrum?
I think
when they're
anyone
doing
who
the same?
assaults a police officer shouldn't be pardoned. I think that Donald Trump shouldn't have pardoned 9 Republican members of Congress who were convicted of crimes, and I don't think Joe
don't
Biden should
think
commit.
you- I don't
I don't
think
think
you
Democrats should
understand.
pardon Democrats.
See that guy standing while everyone else is kneeling? That's Jonathan.
notice how
Isaac.
he didn't give an example of who the Democrats pardoned because
Fair,
he
but
did
how do
not
you
care
understand
to
where we are in the
research.
US then?
I think I do.
No, because you're
I think I do
arguing
this for a
from a
living.
position of like a U.S. that doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
We're headed towards
so
tribal-
nihilism, no laws, nothing matters.
It's not about
everyone's pro-crime.
It's not about that. It's that
Guy's insufferable.
That's
conservatives
convenient.
conservatives for too long have been playing it safe. They've been playing by the law.
Really?
They've been
They've
playing
been
it by
playing
the
by
book.
the law?
Yes, they have.
Maybe
We're
you missed the Bush presidency.
conservatives
Did you
are
live
so
here during the Bush
concerned-
years?
Conservatives are
Didn't
so
play by the
concerned.
law, George W.
Let me
Bush. Nor did
finish.
Ronald Reagan.
A lot of conservatives were not actually pro-Bush. It's a very, the involvement of the government in a foreign war is actually very anti-conservative values for the most part, and people conflate with who the conservatives are with people who are, I would say, just mainstream Republicans.
Let's be respectful to you. Let me finish.
I'm not sure you've been that respectful,
It-
but okay.
I'm trying to bring it back, so let's both bring it back.
Let's
okay?
do it.
I'm conservative. Okay.
Really?
Let me tell you this: we do play it too safe. We've been playing it by the book for too long. At this point, gloves are off. Right? The left has made their point. They're willing
Are
to
the
do.
police force in Washington the left? Why
Yes.
were they
Are you
assaulting?
kidding me? The left? Are
Oh,
you
wow.
are you insane?
Police officers.
Look. Okay. Look
Wow.
at LA right here. You think those stand down?
So you have to keep in mind that Nancy Pelosi refused the National Guard, who probably would have been able to break up a large protest, and the fact that the police force in DC at the time was actually a lot of it was not even the DC force. They just brought in a lot of people, and yeah, this is poor arguments to me.
those stand down.
You think the LAPD are a bunch of liberal Marxists?
No, but
I don't know. If you don't enforce crimes, such as, you know, theft crimes and everything like that, you believe that people should be able to take away from other people without any repercussions. I would label that as socialist Marxist. Yeah, maybe.
But I
Really?
think they listen to liberal Marxists who tell them what to do.
Okay.
I think they listen to who signs their paychecks at the
So
end
can
of
I
the day.
just
who
check,
are
because
liberal
you're doing
Marxists.
lots of little diversions. We both agree Donald Trump's pro-crime, you're just fine with it.
No,
Is that the position?
I don't
That's what you've
agree
said
with
so
your-
far
I
for
don't
about
agree with your
5
This guy's insufferable and he's making his plan. I'm gonna hit the 10-minute mark of this video, and then I might come back to it and continue on.
minutes.
I don't agree with your definition
What's
of
your
crime.
definition of crime?
It doesn't
Stomping
matter.
on a police officer's head
No,
is not
what-
a crime. That's
no,
your
what I'm
definition
sa-
of crime as the
keeps getting
Native
me out of-
American.
I am Native American.
If you
Okay,
say so.
So, going back to the topic at hand, we have
If you say so, if you're a Native American, he has his own definition. He has his own definition.
different definitions of crime because you're
That's
talking about.
convenient.
Same thing with
There's a
crime.
criminal
about-
code
it's
in
not
this
about
country.
what's
It's called the
convenient.
U.S. Criminal Code.
You know what? Let's focus
That's
on
what
what we
everyone
agree on.
focuses
I'm
on.
sure you and I actually agree.
U.S. criminal code and such thing as federal laws. That such thing that, you know, if we were to follow federal laws and federal codes, there would be no illegal immigrants in United States. There would be enforced border laws. There would be a lot of things, a lot more than enforced, that aren't being enforced. He claims because they exist in a manner that they're not supposed to exist in, because there is obviously border patrol. When the Biden administration was in office, the fact was that they were just not doing their job or not being provided the resources to. I'm not going to say that that's a sensitive topic. There is nuances to both arguments as far as who's right, who's wrong on this. I'm a conservative in my belief. I believe it's part of a deeper program, but I don't believe all of our issues go down to immigration. I think it's a symptom of a bigger issue and how our politics are run. But this report is being quite a bit insufferable.
On a
Do
lot
we
more than
agree
you
that
realize.
people shouldn't stomp on police officers' heads? Can we agree on that? If
I'm
you don't
not-
agree on that, then I really think this conversation is kind of
No,
pointless.
because first of all, you're saying what? That the police have the
He's making an argument for the 1,600 people, saying that they were all accused of stomping on the officers' heads, which they were not, and there was only a few very select assaults of police officers, and a lot of them weren't even physical assaults. A lot of them were what the officer was considered assault. So his argument is that those 1,600 people should be indefinitely still in jail because they committed, well, they protested.
authority that they're given the authority. I don't accept the authority that's been
It's a
given by
very
liberal
conservative
Marx.
position.
I
The conservative are pro-police.
Then you
Or
don't
we
know what a
redefine-
real. Hey, listen,
So
you're
we
in a room
redefine
with
crime.
juggernauts right now.
We
Okay,
redefine
I'm telling you right now,
conservatives.
you are going to be blown
I
open
mean-
if you think.
The reporter thinks he's a lot smarter than he is because Hawkins just doesn't know all the information.
Yeah,
that my
if we're going to
position is
struggle
hard-
with
And honestly, it's not even that he doesn't know information. It's he's been baited into an emotional argument.
the
Right?
English
You
language
have
for the
no
next couple
idea
hours, then yeah,
what you're
we'll
up
struggle.
against right now. Okay.
100%.
Yeah. Newsflash: the conservatives are liberal to me. Okay. Neocons, libertarians, all those mainstream people, there might as well be leftists to me. Okay.
He doesn't
That's how
understand
far
his
from right I
argument.
am. Do you understand my position? So when
I
you say,
kinda guessed it when you sat down.
say, about obeying police,
And this guy is so raged that he doesn't know how to properly explain his position. He's probably what is considered libertarian. He probably doesn't want taxes. He probably doesn't want government involvement in most things.
why would I give the authority to police? Do you know?
Yeah, he's anti-police authority, so he comes from what is kind of you would call it probably kind of what a conservative. I would say it's more of a like Theodore Jackson, probably like John Adams conservative, where no, John Adams was a little bit a combination of maybe Theodore Roosevelt and like Andrew Jackson, to where you don't want centralized government to have more power than states or fundamental, it's like city governments, to where that they should be the ruling parties. And he's probably more of family is at the center of the household, and he believes in his belief system is that instead of the government, family should dictate in what they do with their own labor.
Do you know you're in
Do you
America?
think Donald Trump should
you're
be
in America?
pardoning 9 members of Congress
Do you
who
know
committed
who-
financial crimes?
Let
Are
me
you
see if
pro?
I can remember
Are you
his name
pro
right, because
financial
it's so-
crime?
Do
Are you
know
pro
Thomas-
financial crime?
Do you know
All
who
right,
Thomas
pause.
Timbo is?
Pause.
I think the people who clapped.
That's a
were-
good cut. That was
Alright,
10,
head
and
back to your seat.
he got baited into an argument, but I'm gonna cut it here. This is a good mark, I think. Let's see who's the
Steve,
next
been
coming
voted
up,
out the majority.
and we'll see if we continue it
Nice to meet you.
afterwards. But let me get this into a short video.
I got another sales call and like now, and I can't even remember the customer's name.
His name.
Hi there.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what these guys. None of these guys look like they're country people. None of them look very conservative. They look like they're city. I think they're just Republicans or possibly just like something else. But I don't think they're conservatives. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it here. And thank you for watching.